In the year 2050, humanity is enjoying its best life as never before, and all thanks to the rapid development of science and technology. However, there is also something that significantly complicates and darkens existence, and it is the sudden appearance of so-called wormholes that has changed the current calm pace of life. When the wormhole first appeared, many passers-by thought it was some kind of magic show or maybe an unusual 3D projection. However, to their horror, they were very wrong. Hostile aliens began to appear directly from the wormhole, the mere sight of which brought people into a state of panic and indescribable fear. Never before had people seen anything so terrifying. On the other side of the wormholes is another world, and unknown creatures have arrived from there to Earth across millions of light years to take over the planet. It's trying to kill us. Run! Call the police! The screams of people mad with fear and horror are heard. The military weapons that humans were so proud of turned out to be completely ineffective against alien technology, and the people began to retreat. However, unexpectedly for everyone, someone appeared who was able to resist the extraterrestrial creatures. The cultivator who gave humanity a glimmer of hope. After suffering enormous losses, humanity finally changed the course of events by sending the aliens back into the wormhole, thus achieving short-term peace. The art of cultivation once again supplanted science and became the subject of the world's search, and this event became known as the First Revolution of Cultivators, and the era of cultivation began. And now, 50 years after these events, on one of the streets, several guys are bending over a beaten young man lying on the ground, trying to understand why he suddenly stopped moving and resisting. Maybe we killed him? One of the guys grins as the beaten young man gradually regains consciousness. Hey, are you dead or something? Another guy with blonde hair leans over to the victim and unceremoniously pokes him with his finger. Suddenly, the young man grabs his hand, squeezing the other man's wrist until it bruises. He slowly rises from the cold ground, continuing to hold the blonde. Just a split second and he throws the offender aside. Tang Ming, if we understood each other better, you would just give us the money and no one would touch you. One of the guys says to the young man, but he doesn't react at all. Bro, don't talk nonsense, let's just look for money in his pockets. The blonde guy he knocked down a minute earlier rushes at Tang Ming. Tang Ming easily dodges this attack. The guy's eyes light up red, but unfortunately for them, no one notices. Tan kicks the blonde straight in the stomach and he flies off to the side with a loud scream. His friends watch this with their mouths wide open in surprise. Damn it, why are you resisting? The red-haired guy screams, pulling out a knife. I think he just wants to die. The third one answers with a chuckle, joining the attack. Ignores all the mockery, silently grabbing the wrist of the hand with the knife raised above him. All he has at his disposal are his own fists, but that is enough for him. With his free hand, Tan slams his fist into the stunned bully's face. Bro! The third guy tries to rush to help, but Tan easily pushes him away with a sharp elbow. Tan's face expresses nothing but calm confidence as he finishes off his opponents. Slowly he approaches one of the hooligans who has fallen to the ground, causing him to crawl away even further in panic. What year is it now? Tan asks unexpectedly. Are you stupid or something? The defeated guy raises an eyebrow questioningly, even forgetting about his fear for a second in surprise. But one look from Tang Ming was enough for him to immediately realize his mistake. Today is April 2100, he cries out. I was in high school in 2000, Tan says, amazed. It seems like I've been reborn. In 2012, the alien army attacked again and the final battle took place. I didn't expect that aliens would also become cultivators and be able to break through the Saint realm. No matter technology or cultivation, human beings are no match for us, the leader of the aliens told them then. Disappear, he shouted, delivering his decisive blow. Tang Ming remembers how he looked in surprise at the death approaching him. Just one blow, and his life was tragically cut short. The reincarnated cultivator clenches his fists, reminiscing, completely ignoring the boy lying on the ground. Bro Tan, are you okay? The guy reminds me of himself. Get out of my sight and never let me see you near the school again. Tang Ming answers him. Of course we're leaving. The hooligans immediately rush to the exit. Stop, Tan calls to them. Do you want to return anything to me? I didn't expect Gao Hu to take so much money from me in a year of high school, Tang thinks, as he counts the bills the bullies gave him. In my previous life, I was an orphan, and only through step-by-step efforts did I finally break through the Emperor's realm and become one of the leaders of the Cultivator Alliance. I didn't expect that I would lose to aliens, the boy thinks as he enters the school building. Now no one can imagine that in 20 years aliens will strike again and all of humanity will perish. Kingdom of Saints? The young man clenches his fists resolutely. Since God has given me another chance, This time I will destroy you all. Early the next morning, Tang Ming's face is tense. He exhales slowly, wincing slightly from the acrid beads of sweat on his skin. The guy sits on the bed with his legs tucked under him, his silhouette enveloped in the energy of cultivation. I learned all the basic abilities of the high school of cultivation overnight, but I need to return to my previous level, he thinks. It's good that I remember my past life, so it will be easier for me to overcome the first level, but then I will need to break through the 9 gates and then break through again and again. The Peerless Kingdom, the Emperor's Kingdom, the Heavenly Kingdom, the Divine Kingdom, and finally the Kingdom of the Saints. Even though I'm breaking through faster than in my previous life, it will still be difficult to reach the realm of saints before the final battle. Looks like I'll have to practice more. Meanwhile, admiring cries are heard on the street. Look, it's Wang Jing. She's so beautiful. She should definitely be our school's idol. Enthusiastic whispers can be heard every now and then. This girl is not only very beautiful, but also a cultivator of the Wang family, having successfully passed the first level of high school. Sister, do you want to play? Sister, let's play. The school children pester the girl and Tang Ming watches from the side. In her previous life, high school student Wang Jing came from a family of Taoist cultivators and was an untouchable goddess to him. But this time, it is necessary to cultivate by the method of microtone tempering. I must help her, Tang decides. On April 10, 2010, a criminal cultivator escaped to Guanren and met cultivator Wang Jing, who was training that night. And after a long battle, she finally killed the criminal, thereby gaining fame in the martial arts world. But the girl herself was seriously injured and spent half a month recovering. That was why Tang Ming was now in that very grove near the school, watching the battle begin. Hey little girl, I'm the tiger Zhao Hu. If you let me go, I'll thank you. The criminal shouts to the girl. No way. Even though you are a first-class cultivator, your spiritual power leaves much to be desired. If I capture you, I can return to the Cultivator Alliance, Wang Jing replies. Ungrateful, the man growls furiously, starting to attack. He uses Tiger Claw skills, and if an ordinary person were to get hit by this blow, his chest would simply be torn apart, but Jing manages to dodge. The girl draws her sword and charges, thrusting the blade with all her might into one of her opponent's fiery hands. Generally, cultivators train their bones, muscles, and skin one by one, but Zhao Hu focused on training his body in this way, making his bones like steel. So the girl's strike was unsuccessful. Even though she had excellent fighting skills, it would not be easy for her to even break her opponent's arm. I didn't expect you to be so strong at this age, Zhao Hu says, concentrating energy around himself. I'm going to kill you now, the man screams, rushing into the attack. Bastard! Jing screams and attacks. The 4th level skill, Heaven and Earth Xuanhuan, is unique to the Wang family and is more suitable for women. But Wang Jing's qi energy is not strong enough yet, Tang thinks. As long as Zhao Hu protected the vital point, it would not be a problem for him to resist Wang Jing's sword. Caught! Zhao immediately confirmed his thoughts by grabbing the blade of the girl's sword. Wang Jing tries hard to snatch the sword from his fiery hands, but to no avail. Even if your qi were to recover, you still wouldn't be able to pierce my arms. The criminal laughs, continuing to hold her sword effortlessly. Zhao Hu has captured her, and if Wang Jing doesn't recover, her life will be in danger, Tang thinks as he watches this. Without wasting any more time thinking, the guy grabs the nearest rock and throws it at the criminal. If I can't break through his hands, I'll smash his skull. He grins. Watch out, Jing shouts at the boy as an angry Zhao Hu turns around. Tang Ming manages to react in time and dodge the attack. You are Wang Jing, aren't you? I am also a student at Guangzhou High School. I heard the screams and that's why I came here, he says to the confused girl. It's okay, but you better leave, I'll stop him, Jing replies. You're wounded, we'd better fight together. Tan tries to persuade her, but the girl doesn't want to agree, believing that it's too dangerous for an ordinary schoolboy here. I am a cultivator who goes to fight in the face of death to save his comrades. I follow the path of a cultivator, Tang Ming tells her. What are you talking about? You won't leave here alive. Their conversation is interrupted by Zhao Hu's furious cry. In that case, buy me some time and I will finish him off with one blow. Wang Jing finally agrees with Tang. The guy's hand collides with the criminal's fiery hand in a direct confrontation. What? So you're a cultivator too? Zhao is surprised, not expecting such resistance. Would you believe me if I said I was self-taught? Tan grins. How dare you deceive me? Zhao shouts indignantly, knowing full well that only a master who has been cultivating for many years can use his qi so well. Look at this, Tan says mockingly, reaching out his hand to the criminal. Tiger claws? But how is that possible? Zhao cries out in shock. Instead of responding, Tang Ming attacks sharply, and his attack is quite successful. His skills are better than mine. Zhao panics mentally. Hey brother, stop! It would be better if we had fun with that girl together. He tries to negotiate with Tan. However, a second later, the man notices Wang Jing approaching while using Blade Release, and he realizes that the girl belongs to the city's main cultivator family. All it takes is one elusive move from Wang Jing to make the criminal lose his head. She does this to become better. Tang understands that only a few people have such a technique, and this girl would have killed Zhao Hu herself even if he hadn't helped her. Thank you very much, the girl tells him. What is your name? My name is Tang Ming, the boy answers. Wang Jing didn't expect at all that there was another disciple in this school who was also good at cultivation. And now, she was curious to know why she hadn't heard of him before. The news of the girl's victory over the escaped criminal instantly spreads throughout the school and becomes the main topic of discussion. Tang Ming sat in his seat with his arms crossed, not wanting to listen to this. I finally found you. I didn't expect you to be a sophomore. Wang Jing suddenly approaches him. Shu Fang, a senior who ranked second in the school, also came with the girl. Do you need something? Tan turns to them. I just came to thank you. I wouldn't have been able to kill Zhao Hu last night without your help. The girl smiled gratefully. After these words, the students began to whisper loudly, admiring the fact that Tan was so strong. Shu Fang frowned with displeasure as he listened to the conversation. It turns out that you are quite good, Brother Tang. You were not afraid of a first-class cultivator and began to fight with him. Your courage is worthy of praise, he says loudly to Tang. But let's not deny that Wang Jing is stronger and protected you. So Wang Jing did it all herself. I thought he was just as strong. My classmates immediately start laughing. Listen to the advice of an elder. You will be much safer if you do not hang out on the streets at night anymore. And if you suddenly need help, you can always find me, and I will not refuse. Shu Fang continues, putting his hand on the guy's shoulder. I'll manage, Tan answers calmly, pushing his hand away. Seriously? Feng laughs awkwardly, unhappy at being rejected in public. If you need help, just say so, Wang Jing says. Having finished speaking, the girl heads towards the exit. If you don't want to die, stay away from her. Feng leans towards Tang threateningly. Tang Ming doesn't feel the need to answer him. It is time for the midterm testing of cultivators, and if the examinee does not show good results, he will not be able to continue training here. All the students watch in amazement as Tang Ming successfully passes the test, because only the most talented can reach the limit of tempering, and the guy has already done it. They said that it was Tang Ming and Wang Jing who killed that first-class cultivator. They are talking to each other. He's trying hard to hide his powers. Jing smiles as she watches the exam carefully. Shu Fang stands sullenly next to him, arms crossed over his chest. Gu Qian, try to find a moment to fight him, he quietly commands his friend. High Qi concentration does not mean that you have great strength, so if you have the courage, then fight me. Gu Qian immediately shouted at the guy. Of course, if you refuse, we will understand everything and won't say anything. No problem. I accept the challenge. I would also like to see the strength of a senior. Tan calmly answers. Attack! Then I'll start. Gu Qian answers with a malicious grin on his lips. Wang Jing is completely calm, because she is sure that even though Gu Qian spent 2 years in the 3rd year and has high combat skills, he is not at all a rival to Tang Ming. The strength is good, but you are too slow. You are wasting your strength uselessly. Tan mocks his opponent at this time, dodging all his attacks. Why can't I hit him? Qian doesn't understand, unable to dodge in time and receiving a painful kick in the back. Qi must flow throughout the entire body, the dragon's spine, the confluence of the rivers, and both hands. Didn't your teachers teach you this? Tang shouts at him. Qian clenches his fists, letting out a furious cry. Gu Qian, you have already exceeded your limit. This blow may be fatal, the examiner girl shouts at him. But this does not stop the guy, and he directs all his strength to attack Tan. But Tan skillfully dodges this attack, as if it requires no effort at all from him. Having prevented Qian's attack, Tang strikes back. Rest for a couple of days and calm down, he grins, walking away from the defeated enemy. The other students immediately rush to help Qian, who is lying lifelessly on the ground. This guy is so strong, he won with just one blow? Surprised voices are heard everywhere. Instead of sending others, come and fight me yourself. Show all the juniors your abilities. Meanwhile, Tang approaches Feng. Okay, since the younger brother has such an interest, I will fight you, he answers. I hope you won't complain if I hurt you. Today I will break all your limbs, Feng thinks to himself. This is the technique of Shu Fang's family. I heard that unformed interstitial air pressure is used to increase the heart's performance, increase blood supply, and improve physical qualities several times. The examiner girl says admiringly. The martial arts skills taught in school are only at the basic level. It seems that Tang Ming's physical strength has decreased. It is expected that he will lose. The main thing is to stop in time. Feng ponders. I don't think it will end badly because I'm just using a drug that will make you writhe in pain both inside and out, he tells Tan smugly. My father owns the largest share of the medical equipment manufacturing business in Guangzhou, and also knows many cultivators and high-ranking officials, so crushing you will be a piece of cake. Your father's name is Shu Hai. He is a second-rank cultivator who practices Xuan Xian Gu and has mastered the empty palm skill, Tang replies. You could have stayed away from me and saved your life, Feng continues to mock. This name is quite familiar. I remember that the front line of humans was destroyed because a cultivator with this name joined the aliens and told them key information about the solar system and our plans. Tang realizes. Shu Feng, do you think you will win? He asks. Believe it or not, even without special techniques, I can defeat you. How arrogant of you, try it if you can. Feng laughs in response. A knee to the stomach from Tan comes as a complete surprise to him. By increasing your physical abilities, you do not increase your control. Your movements become much slower. You still have many shortcomings. Tan lectures him. I'll kill you, Feng roars in rage. The fighting skills taught at school are also not developed enough. Tan continues, parrying the attack with ease. Fighting you is just stupid training and a waste of energy. After finishing teaching the guy, Tan deals just one blow. This is enough to defeat Feng. Concerned students immediately run up to him, checking if he is okay. You are too weak, so I have no interest in fighting you. Tan sums up. Take him to the doctor and come back for the test, the examiner orders. I injected qi into the vital point and hid it. Now when the seed sprouts, it will destroy his qi system. The more Feng trains, the more the seed in his body will grow. And finally, at the critical stage, during the bone refining, it will backfire and he will become a useless human being, Tang thinks. This is an ability I accidentally learned in my past life. And regardless of whether a trace remains or not, even a professional cultivator doctor will not be able to find the root of the problem. The cultivator test is complete. The next stage will be in the form of a written assignment. Let's go to the office, the examiner announces. Tang Ming, you go first and don't forget to go see the director. Shu Feng will report you, so be careful. And if you need me, you can find me anytime, Jing says quietly. Thank you for your concern, but I can handle it myself, Tan replies. When the tests were over, it became clear that many of the subjects would not become real cultivators. The discussion of failed tests is only interrupted when Jing walks past and all eyes turn to her. One of the guards smiles suspiciously, slowly drawing his weapon. Suddenly, he lunges at the girl, but she manages to protect herself from the attack with her own backpack. But then another man in uniform rushes to the stranger's aid. The girl recalls that because weapons are prohibited at school, she left her blade in the dorm, but even without it, she is able to confront strangers. Killers at school? How boring. The girl snorts. You dared to attack right in the school, even despite the alliance? The younger students who were nearby try to rush to Jing's aid, but she does not allow them to do so. Don't come any closer, you're no match for them. Bring me the iron blade, it's near the training room, and call the teachers, the girl commands. She is convinced that in a life-or-death battle, other students will not be able to help her, and she can take care of herself. I will help you, Tang Ming says decisively. In her past life, Shu Fang helped her, so I became close to her. And now it's my time to strike and get the resources needed for practice and secret techniques, the guy thinks. Wang Jing, even despite the lack of weapons, copes quite well, repelling all attacks. However, fighting two opponents at once is not the easiest thing to do, and Tan suddenly appears between the girl and one of the killers, delivering a precise blow with his elbow. One for each, leave this one to me, he says to the girl. The guy lunges at the opponent using a grab technique. It only takes him a few seconds to twist the killer's arms and immobilize him. This is a technique that is taught in high school martial arts classes. The students watching the battle are amazed. I have to deal with him as soon as possible to avoid surprise attacks, Tang thinks. But he doesn't have time to turn his idea into reality. The killer deftly pulls a dagger from his sleeve, immediately throwing it at Tan. Suddenly, Jing appears next to Tang and his opponent, blocking the thrown dagger. This guy is very dangerous. He hasn't said a word since the battle began, as if his tongue had been cut out. Most likely he is a member of one of the big families, and perhaps their blades are poisoned, the girl thinks. Meanwhile, another dagger appears in the hand of the second killer. You don't have a weapon, so give it to me, Tan says to the girl. He defeated his opponent so quickly? The girl thinks in amazement, watching the guy deal with the second killer. I haven't seen him for a few days, but his cultivation has improved significantly. They are not ordinary people, they have first-class martial arts skills. I still can't get any information from them. Meanwhile, Tang is thinking. He places his hand on the second assassin's chest, concentrating his energy and striking. A burn mark from the palm of the hand remains on the opponent's chest, and he chokes on his own blood before falling face down on the ground. It's only been a few days, my striking power is becoming more and more perfect. This time, 80% of his heart has been destroyed, and his pulse will be gone in just 5 minutes. Tan ponders, examining the body of the defeated enemy. This guy has already saved me twice, Wang Jing thinks. The girl pulls back the collar of the shirt of one of the assassins and finds an unusually shaped tattoo on his neck. Tang Ming immediately understands that this is the sign of the Murongo family, which means that they most likely really came to kill Wang Jing, since the two families do not get along with each other. This is the second time you've saved me. I'll do my best and report to the Cultivator Alliance so that you and the other students won't be dragged into this matter, Jing says. This place is not suitable for conversation. Let's find another one, Tan answers her. Taking the girl aside, the guy asks her to find for him such things as a medical booth, an alien stone, and a forbidden stone that can restrain the fluctuations of spiritual energy. Even though they are prohibited goods in the market, I can help you get them, but to do so, you must tell me your purpose, Jing replies. I'm not really a cultivator, so my chi is limited, and I need to use spiritual energy on the alien stone to temper the body cells, and then use the chi to increase the sublimation of the cells and strengthen the body. The guy answers, you should know that there are too many unstable factors to cleanse the cells. Just one wrong step, and it will result in serious injury or death. Are you sure you can handle it? The girl doubts. I have a reason to quickly increase my strength, so you can rest assured that I will succeed, Tang Ming answers confidently. I will help you because you saved me twice, Jing decides. After some time, the girl finds everything she needs and brings Tan to the Wang family hospital because the medical cabin is too big to move. Don't worry, no one will disturb you here, she says. Here are your stones, the girl continues, handing the guy a small box with 2 bright stones. Tang Ming politely thanks her as he heads towards the medical booth. Wang Jing remains outside to wait for him. The guy goes inside, closing the door behind him. Victory or death, time will tell, he thinks, settling into a meditation pose. He believes that learning is just the cover of the book, and the essence is the release of energy and prolongation of life. However, this secret magic contradicts the hypothesis, because it teaches me to use the available resources and energy of each cell to educate and develop these same cells. Tan ponders. If I constantly mobilize available resources, my path of cultivation will be at risk. Suddenly, an alarm sounds and a red button lights up. Jing realizes that the boy's heartbeat has stopped, his temperature is dropping, and there are no signs of life. What should I do? She panics. Should I open the cabin or call for help? Before she can make a decision, the door to the booth slowly opens. Holding onto the door for balance, a tired Tan emerges from the medical cubicle. A frightened Jing immediately throws herself into his arms with a joyful cry. Realizing what exactly she did in a fit of emotion, the girl immediately steps back and a blush fills her cheeks. Are you okay? Your heart stopped, she says to Tanu indignantly. Don't worry, I'm fine. This secret technique is too demanding, the guy laughs. With each practice, your strength increases. You could have died. Even the strongest cultivators wouldn't dare try something like that. Jing says indignantly. Guess what I'm going to do next? The guy smiles. Instead of answering, Tan leads the girl behind him and, in front of her, declares to the examiner his desire to join the martial arts competition. And again, the surroundings become noisy with heated discussions. Jing supports Tan in his decision, and even more, promises to help him cope with it. Since you have made this decision, you should inform the director about it. The examiner finally agrees. Tan leaves, and Feng and a bunch of his hangers-on are looking at his back. Beat him so badly that he lies in bed for the rest of his life, Feng says, gritting his teeth in anger. Meanwhile, Tang Ming reaches Director Guan Chen's office. I didn't think there would be another first-stage cultivator in our school. I wasn't at the test yesterday. Can you show off your abilities? The principal says with a smile. The guy agrees without hesitation and releases his power. His strength is different from other first-stage cultivators. Guan Chen jumps up from his seat in shock. Will I be allowed to take part in competitions now? Tan asks. Of course, no problem. And know that you can always ask me for help. The happy principal answers, extremely pleased with the fact that his school has another gifted student. The director has a lot of connections. You should think about which university you want to go to, Jing tells the guy as they leave the office. In his mind, the guy remembers that in his past life, she entered Manhwa University and became one of the 10 most talented fighters. Do you want to go to the University of Cultivators? The girl asks again. Here, several older students approach the guys with unpleasant smiles and ask Tan to give them some advice about the competition. You can go, I'll help them. The guy smiles at the girl. You're smart, we didn't want to beat you up in front of everyone. One of the hooligans tells the guy with a chuckle as they leave. Let's wait and see, the girl smiles, knowing in advance how it will all end. Such a smart guy? Let's see what happens when I make you an invalid, thinks Feng, hiding nearby. Tangming, you crossed the line recently and my brothers want to teach you a lesson, says one of the guys as they walk outside. Shu Fang sent you. Tang immediately understood. It's good that you figured it out yourself. We may break all your bones, but at least you'll stay alive. The biggest of the hooligans grins. Hold him, guys, he screams, getting ready to hit him. Tan just smiles kindly. A few minutes pass and the battle is over. Tan, who has not received a single bruise or scratch, calmly walks away, leaving behind a bunch of beaten and humiliated hooligans. What are you planning next? Jing's voice is heard. They were probably sent by Shu Fang. His father is very famous and has many connections in politics and the military. This guy is the kind of person who will take revenge at any cost. If you need help, the Wang family can help you. But isn't the level of the Shu family legendary? Tang asks. That's true. But even though Shu Hai is a rich and powerful man, he's still a second-class cultivator, Jing replies. Rumor has it that 10 years ago, Shu Hai found an ancient cave in the countryside. It was after this that he acquired the abilities that the ancient cultivators left behind. I doubt that the people in this city are not a means to gain advantages, forming some kind of hidden network. But this person does not have the power to control the network, which means that either he is hiding his true identity or he is actually just a link in some chain, says Tan. I only know that he was extremely poor in his youth, but 10 years ago he changed his whole life thanks to the production of modern medical equipment, Jing says thoughtfully. Do you think he relies on summoning aliens from a black hole? Maybe he is cooperating, Tan sighs. In recent years, there have been many criminals here who came from another world and know how to disappear at the right moment. Let's see where Shu Hai spends his money and check all his details. The girl, without thinking twice, agrees to take part in untangling this peculiar web. Meanwhile, at Zhu Hai's corporation in Guangzhen, the head of the corporation holds a piece of paper in his hand, reading it carefully. The staff tells him that for their purposes, they will need 1 first-class cultivator and 2 second-class ones. If you want to teach them something, then the team must be led by a top-notch cultivator who must stay as long as possible until they kill someone. I'm still looking for a way to drag them back, Shu Hai tells them. Zhao Hu, the top-notch cultivator who surrendered to us, died recently, a subordinate reports. The culprits were the Wang family's daughter and another disciple, Tang Ming. Isn't Feng in love with Wang Jing? The leader immediately points out. Hearing a positive answer, he lets out a disappointed sigh. Send someone to tell Shu Feng that he must stay out of this and stop being dramatic, otherwise he will ruin my plan, Shu Hai orders. From this point on, everything the leader intends to do will be like walking on a knife edge, one wrong move, and everything will collapse. In any case, in one day, the Shu family will become successful and prosperous, and will also receive the title of the 14th best martial arts family. At this time, Tang Ming spends time with Wang Jing, talking about cultivation. Repeat this twice more, and my body will be the same as that of a first-class cultivator. The guy rejoices. By the way, I have something for you. He remembers and puts his hand in his pocket. I accidentally stumbled upon a site for cultivators dedicated to communication and sharing methods. It may sound old-fashioned, but it's useful, he explains, handing the girl a notebook with information. The hypothesis of the healing method is amazing, as are the notes on the swords. These are the answers to all my unanswered questions. Jing cries out in delight. Thank you, you helped me a lot. In fact, I learned a lot from you myself, Tan smiles modestly. Don't be shy, you saved me twice. The girl blushes embarrassedly. She changes the subject, remembering that she had her people monitor Shu Hai, and they found out that his company was quite strange, as they had a huge amount of unaccounted money in their accounts, and all their technology and equipment appeared out of nowhere. We should be careful. There is clearly someone behind this man, Van says thoughtfully. Of course, there are still 2 days of competition left, so leave this problem to the Alliance, Jing replies. By the way, you and I are similar. The guy laughs and the girl laughs shyly. The next day of the competition is coming, and it is taking place at the Guangzhou Martial Arts Stadium. Almost the entire school is watching Wang Jing's confrontation with his opponent. This fight does not take much time. Without much effort, the girl wins, earning an excellent score. Next in line is Tang Ming. "Don't worry, you just need to hold on for 3 minutes," says the smiling teacher. "Start!" Hearing this, Tan immediately deals just one blow. The teacher, who did not have time to react, unexpectedly for everyone and himself, finds himself outside the field. "What was that?" He cries out in shock. Is this some kind of joke? The man doesn't understand. However, he has to acknowledge Tang Ming's strength and the boy moves on, receiving the highest score. After some time, a list of ranks is posted on the stand. To everyone's surprise, Tang Ming came in first place, then Wang Jing, and only Shu Fang came in third. However, all three have a very promising future and will be able to enter any university. "I trained you, but your result is higher than mine." Jing laughs while talking to Tan. She asks with interest which university he plans to attend, and the guy replies, "Hanbei." The girl is a little surprised because, as a rule, graduates of this university simply become experts in the philosophy of martial arts. However, Tan is absolutely confident in his decision and even invites her to enroll with him. "I can't tell you everything, but you can trust me," he convinces the girl. "You're never afraid to use your secret techniques. Are you really that unwilling to live a normal life?" Jing smiles at him. "Okay, I believe you. We're going to Hanbei together." Unbeknownst to them, Shu Fei is watching closely, extremely annoyed that they have passed him by again. He decides that he will use his father's help to level up, and then they will all pay. Meanwhile, in the underground tunnels of Guangzhou, Yao Ming, a second-year student at the Imperial City Military Academy, and Wang Changfeng, a third-year student, begin their mission. "Police, put your guns down!" they shout, throwing open the door. "Surrender!" Changfeng shouts as he enters, but no one answers him. Yao Ming looks around and realizes that the people in the strange flasks located here are the missing criminals from the past few years. "We must immediately inform the Alliance to arrest Shu Hai," Changfeng says in shock. A little later, Shu Fang ends up in the hospital after receiving a serious injury during one of his training sessions. The employee reports to his father that the guards found no traces of other people and found the guy already unconscious. Suddenly, a man bursts into the room and immediately demands that the head of the corporation come with him for questioning on charges of concealing criminals and conducting experiments on people. "What evidence do you have?" one of Shu Hai's employees shouts in rage. "Is it because of you that my son is in this state?" Shu Hai asks the man who burst in, his tone seemingly calm. The policeman demands to come with him for questioning, and Shu Hai, in a rage, delivers a powerful punch right to his face. "Stop! How dare you resist arrest?" Several more police officers run up to them. Instead of answering, Shu Hai's entire body is enveloped in a red glow, and he begins to transform and increase in size. "At my level, you can't handle me, so killing you will be fun," he says angrily. "Fourth-class cultivator! We can't handle it, retreat!" one of the policemen shouts. But they are not destined to be saved, and Shu Hai catches up with each of them. Returning to his normal body, the man bends down to pick up the piece of paper that fell from the dead policeman's hands. "So these two exposed me," he says thoughtfully. "Our secret is out, there is no turning back now, I can't let the Alliance get you," the man says to his unconscious son. Having made his decision, he kills his only son. Changfeng and Yao Ming, who came to the rescue, found only a multitude of corpses. They realize that Shu Hai has escaped, so now they need to warn the Alliance to block the exits from the city. The girl's gaze falls on a piece of paper stained with the blood of the dead. She is overcome with horror when she realizes that the names on the piece of paper are Wang Jing and Tang Ming. At this time, unsuspecting school children are sitting on a train to Manhwa. "I didn't expect that you would actually want to come to this university with me." Tan smiles. "I didn't mind, and the family gave me their consent," the girl answers embarrassedly. Their conversation is interrupted by an incomprehensible noise at the door. "Tang Ming!" Yao Ming shouts as he makes his way towards them. With a joyful cry, the girl rushes to hug her younger brother in front of the entire train. Wang Jing looks at them with displeasure, trying to understand who this girl is and why she allows herself to do this to Tan. "So you are Yao Ming's younger brother?" Changfeng smiles at the guy. "We have evidence that Shu Hai is connected to aliens. He found out that it was you who were digging under him, and now he wants revenge." Suddenly, the bus starts shaking as if an earthquake was happening, and people fall on top of each other, unable to stay on their feet. "Save yourself, terrorist!" People running out of another carriage scream, and behind them a fire is blazing. "Yao Ming, evacuate the passengers!" Changfeng shouts. Someone is approaching, Tan realizes. Right in front of him, a silhouette of a man appears from the flames, easily recognizable as Shu Hai. 10 years turn to dust in an instant. The man roars, "My own son was killed in cold blood by me, and you, worthless ones, how do you want to die?" Tan moves Jing behind his back, covering her with his body. The girl's eyes widened in fear. It must have been hard to break through the Alliance's defensive network. "Do you still have any strength left?" Changfeng says. "Only when these two die will I be satisfied." Shu Hai grits his teeth angrily. Changfeng asks Jing and Tang to run away quickly while he and Yao delay him. "Wang, Jing, and I already have enough power to help." Tang disagrees. "My secret sword technique has gotten better recently. I can hurt him." Jing echoes the guy. "Okay, but don't rush forward under any circumstances." Changfeng surrenders. "Let's start." "Great, line up to die." Hai laughs evilly. Even though the person in front of him was a 4th-level cultivator, Changfeng charged into battle without fear or hesitation. He immediately manages to wound the man, and it is amazing. This is the radiance of the Imperial Sword. Hai understands. Fighting with members of martial arts families is always troublesome because their skills are more than 1 grade higher than normal ones, and their attacks are nearly impossible to dodge. Imperial swords are rare and only a few cultivators have them. The fact that Changfeng received such a sword shows that the Wang family values him very much. Yao Ming doesn't lag behind his partner and also begins to attack. "This is a spirit technique," Shu Hai shouts in surprise. Xiaofeng takes advantage of this pause to attack. Once again, his blow is successful, and a new wound appears on the man's body. "Die!" he screams in rage. Yao Ming continues to attack in the same way, wearing down his opponent. "Damn it," Kai swears. "Tang Ming, go ahead." "He's exhausted, so he can't fully use his strength," Changfeng shouts. "Will you kill me?" Hai grins evilly. Clenching his hands into fists, the man screams furiously, the blast wave sending all his opponents flying away from him. Yao Ming falls with a painful cry. Even Changfeng couldn't stay on his feet. Explosive equipment? He pretended to be tired on purpose so that we would lose our vigilance. The guy understands. "What exploded now was the air I used inside to protect my wounded heart," Hai says. "I am almost exhausted and can live for an hour or two. But this is more than enough to kill you." However, Tan is not going to let him do this. Despite everything that is happening inside, the train continues to move forward. "This cultivator is seriously injured. Even a student like me can defeat him," Tang thinks. "It just takes a little effort." Gathering his strength into a fist, the guy attacks. It's difficult. It's not for nothing that he is a 4th-grade martial artist with a body tempered like steel. Tang clenches his teeth in frustration. "Don't waste your strength, just die obediently." Hai laughs. The choice is in the moment. He painfully grabs the young man by the hand. "First, I'll rip your arm off," the man laughs evilly. Somewhere in the distance, Tang Ming's sister screams in fear. Jing is already rushing to help the guy. "Just touch him with your finger and you're dead," the girl screams. Shu Hai only laughs in response to her threats. Changfeng sees that Jing is in too much of a hurry, and if she chooses the wrong moment, nothing will work out. To everyone's surprise, Tan uses the technique that his sister had used before. "This is my spirit technique," Yao whispers in amazement. "Damn!" Hai screams in rage again. Taking advantage of his distraction, Jing delivers his blow, and although she was able to reach his skin with the blade, it did not bring any results. Reflected, the girl understands with disappointment. Exhausted, the girl falls to the floor next to Hayam. "If even one of you dares to escape, I will kill everyone on this train," he roars. "Nonsense!" Jing snorts in disbelief. "If you have it your way, then everyone will die today." The man bursts into vile laughter. "Our country helped you become a cultivator, and you work for aliens. How could you do this?" Changfeng tries to reach him. "I have been practicing martial arts since I was a child for 20 years, and then aliens invaded our country. If it weren't for the unexpected deal with them and the help I received, I wouldn't have survived that battle," answered by Shu Hai. "How did our country help me? The state forced me to join the army and doomed me to certain death. It doesn't matter, you still won't understand. In any case, humanity will perish sooner or later. We will not die, and humanity will not perish. I will personally send all aliens back to the depths of the universe," Tan says passionately. "Good joke. I'm not afraid to tell you that they have already started studying human bodies and cultivation methods," Hai answers with a chuckle. "It's no wonder that in my past life the aliens so quickly mastered the secrets. It turns out that they were helped by the traders of the earth," Tan thinks. "Who else helps the aliens?" Changfeng tries to find out from the man. "Who knows? Try to guess. Your time is up. It's time to accept your death," answered by Shu Hai. "I will not die. And I will do everything to stop you," Tan says decisively, mentally thinking that there is no way out. and he will have to call upon some of the forces from his past life. Die! Hai rushes at him. Brother, run! Yao screams in fear. But the guy is not going to give up so easily. He easily blocks this blow and remains unharmed. Blocked the blow? But how is that possible? The sister is surprised. Meanwhile, Tan continues the fight and attacks himself. The young man easily dodges all the blows. At the right moment, he places his palm on his opponent's chest. Your brother uses the most ordinary martial arts, but his physical fitness is much higher. He has already surpassed the level of a first-class cultivator, Chang Feng says in surprise. He relies on his vision, and few cultivators can awaken their natural talents during battle. His abilities are far greater than Yao or Jing, so why haven't I heard his name before? He landed several strong blows, but they didn't cause any visible damage to Shu Hai. I am a 4th-grade cultivator with steel bones. Even if I stand still all day, you won't be able to break through my physical defense. Shu Hai mocks the opponent. Don't waste your energy, you don't have a chance anyway. The out-of-breath young man stops. Well, have you finally realized the difference between us and decided to give in? The man continues to laugh. But his laughter stops abruptly when he realizes he can't move. What have you done to me? He screams in rage. I once came across a medical book written by ancient cultivators, and it listed dozens of important points on the body. An ordinary person would be seriously injured or on the verge of death if these points were pierced even an inch by something sharp. Tang smiled at him. This is impossible. Cultivators temper their bodies. What other points? Shu Hai can't believe it. In the internal organs, Tan answers with a chuckle. You don't have any weapons and your energy is insufficient. How could you damage my internal organs? Hai doesn't understand. Your skin and flesh are like armor, but your internal organs are no different from those of ordinary people, Tan explains to him. Beginner cultivators do not really have such techniques, but knowledge of body techniques is useful when facing an enemy. These are the techniques belonging to the Fan family. How could he even use them? The man thinks. This is an acupuncture method I invented that can be used to injure vital points of the internal organs through the skin, says Tan. Now die in peace. Shu Hai dies, thinking that it is simply impossible that such a small disciple could defeat him. Are you okay? Tan runs up to Wang Jing, having finished with Hai. Yes, thank you, the girl answers tiredly. Tan shyly helps her up, clearly causing the girl to misunderstand this. Young and talented, he created his own method of acupuncture. He has natural abilities as a cultivator. Admires Chang Feng. Of course, how could my brother be a simple man? Yao laughs nervously. Brother, go quickly and help your sister. You can flirt later. She screams loudly. Sister, don't talk nonsense. Tan immediately runs up to her, embarrassed. The heads of the families have already made a marriage contract with another aristocratic family. If they find out that Tang and Jing are so close, there will be a lot of trouble, Chang Feng thinks. In gratitude for saving his life, if something happens, I will help him. After dealing with Shu Hai, the cultivators head to the train station, where Yao says goodbye to his brother for a long time, not wanting to part so quickly. The girl is very touched, because no one expected that Tan would take first place in the country in the exam and achieve such success. Yao, I'm not a child anymore. Don't worry about me, Tan laughs. At this time, Chang Feng explains to Jing that Tang is a good guy, but they should not go any further in their relationship. You must remember that your parents have already entered into a marriage contract that cannot be dissolved, he tells the girl. I know, Jing lowers his head. Chang Feng silently puts his hand on her shoulder, supporting and comforting her. And right in front of the station is the admissions office of Hanbei University. Behind the counter sits third-year student Li Jihan, registering all arriving first-year students. You entered this year, right? State your name. He smiles affably at those who approach. Tan and Jing smile, imagining the boy's reaction when he finds out who they are. My name is Tang Ming, and this is Wang Jing. They introduce themselves. Li Jihan freezes and his eyes widen to unrealistic sizes. This is first and second place in the country, he shouts, jumping up and down. Hearing this, other students immediately come running, trying to snatch at least a second of the famous couple's attention. Aren't we too famous for mere freshmen? Tan laughs awkwardly. At the same time, on the other side, another freshman raises her hands to him, loudly announcing her arrival. This is Fang Xiaoying, who ranked third in the National Martial Arts Examination. Her grandfather wanted her to enroll in Manhwa in the imperial capital because he worked there as a director. But the girl ran away here. Excuse me, I'm a freshman, she calls out cheerfully as she approaches the other applicants. Before her eyes, she can see a crowd of students gathered around Tang and Jing, eager to please and grab some attention. Aren't they the two who occupy first and second place? Fan Xiaoying snorts. Big deal. My grandfather is an 8th grade cultivator. and I am his #1 student. How can I be worse than them? The girl thinks, shaking her leg. I must take first place among the freshmen, she decides. Master, is that girl by any chance surnamed Fan? Tang asks, noticing her, to which he receives an affirmative answer. The guy remembers this girl from his past life. She is very strong and can reach first grade without any problem, Jing says. If we hadn't come here, this girl would have become the strongest newcomer. At this time, the mentor invites all the first-year students inside. The architecture of this building is truly majestic, and this place is worthy of being called one of the top 10 universities in the country. The mentor gives a brief tour of the university, not forgetting to praise Tan. Don't you want to fight me? Xiaoying suddenly steps forward. Place your bets on the victory of the strongest freshman. Tan just sighs in displeasure. This is a challenge to a fight. The surprised exclamations of the first-year students are heard. Xiaoying smiled proudly, already mentally imagining how he would become the best freshman this year. Let me fight you, Jing steps forward. But Tan stops her, assuring her that he is fine and he can handle it himself. Xiaoying looks at him with disapproval, dissatisfied with the guy's confidence. The mentor offers to find them a place to fight, but Tan refuses, believing that this place is quite suitable. It's only the first day, and we'll already see a battle of the strongest first-year students. The mentor rejoices. Tang and Xiaoying stand opposite each other, preparing to fight. Let's agree in advance. If I win, don't you dare cry, the girl says smugly. Tan smiles back at her silently. This guy is holding up well, Xiaoying thinks. The freshmen watching the action are already starting to place bets on who will win today. I can destroy you in 10 blows, Xiaoying declares. I'll deal with him quickly. Let everyone see how strong I am, she thinks to herself. However, the girl's attack is abruptly cut short by just one swing of Tan's hand. This guy is acting like a fool. He should be more serious, Xiaoying decides. Gathering her strength, she attacks again, but again to no avail. He blocked the blow again. The girl is surprised. Fortunately, this Xiaoying is not Tang's equal, Jing thinks as she watches them. Meanwhile, the freshman becomes increasingly enraged by the futility of her own attacks. Instead of the classic tiger and cat techniques, she uses a chainsaw? Is she that strong? She's a genius, the audience screams. But despite all her techniques, the girl still cannot reach the enemy. One hit left, Tan smiles at her. You are very strong, so I will put all my strength into it, Xiaoying shouts. I won't be able to control my power this time, so don't die right away, okay? She screams as she begins her attack. Then I should hit too, Tan grins. The two forces collide high in the air in full view of everyone, striking in their colorful display. Xiaoying's fist connects with Tang's fist and it stops her punch. Impossible, this is my strongest attack, the girl screams. I used the power of vibrations to reflect your fire fist, the guy explains to her. I can't defeat you, Xiaoying lowers his head in disappointment. If you want, I can teach you this technique, Tan reassures her. Really? From now on, you will be my elder brother, and an elder brother must be worshipped. Xiaoying shouts enthusiastically, falling to her knees, forgetting about the length of her skirt. You can't pass on knowledge to someone you don't have a close relationship with. She responds to all of Tan's indignation. Congratulations, little freeloader, Jing snorts discontentedly. The three of them now head on further and Xiaoying chats amiably. The girl has already managed to familiarize herself with the university rules and can now answer any questions. This Xiaoying is much nicer, without her arrogance, Jing says, and Tang asks, since she herself is not the same, how can I be arrogant to someone who is so much more talented than me? Jing smiles. Tang Ming blinked sheepishly at the praise. Bro, the boys' dorm is on the right and the girls' dorm is on the left, so we're splitting up, Xiaoying says. If there are any problems, let me know right away and I will come. With a little sister like that, he won't have to worry about anything other than cultivating, Tang thought. It's time to meet my roommates, who I'll be living with for 4 years. With these thoughts, the guy approaches his room. He opens the door and sees two guys unpacking their things. Their names are He Yan and Zhao Lan, and they will have to live together throughout their training. Smiling, Tan tells them his name, already knowing their reaction. Is that you? The one who took first place in the exam? The neighbor immediately shouts in admiration. Having heard an affirmative answer, the guys look at each other in bewilderment. And then a third neighbor named Xiaofei appears, immediately beginning to admire Tang's merits. A little embarrassed, Tan extends his hand to him to introduce himself. From now on, I will call you Big Brother. I will take care of everything for you. Xiaofei immediately starts shouting happily. With such a cheerful guy, you won't be bored, Tan understands. The next morning, the first-year students gather in the square. Tang and Jing still hear constant whispers about themselves. Where is Xiaofei? he asks Zhao. And at that very moment, Xiaofei appears and immediately pesters Jing with questions, believing her to be Tang's fiancé. What are you talking about? Tan is indignant. If you don't admit it now, you'll have to sooner or later. You're perfect for each other. Xiao laughs in response. I have to be vigilant. My place as a younger sister must not be given to this guy, Xiaoying thinks at this time. Meanwhile, a man approaches the microphone. But no one notices this. Everyone is busy talking about new impressions and the person takes a deep breath, filling his lungs with air. Silence! He shouts loudly, interrupting the heated discussions. How loud? My ears. I'm almost deaf. The first-year students complain. The teachers who have just appeared stand quietly, waiting for the next presentation. Obviously, this is not the first time this has happened, and they have already become accustomed to such loud demands for silence. Decided to scare? Tan grins. You are all future cultivators who will contribute to the development of the country. Stop making noise. A powerful voice is heard. Those three, they're the first place, right? They withstood teacher Yinlu's sonic attack, so they must have some strength. Discussing the newly arrived teachers. This sound attack power wasn't that strong. Let me test the abilities of these freshmen, teacher Yue Shan suggests. Since too much pressure is not desirable, I use only half of my strength. A sound wave, several times more powerful than the previous one, spreads throughout the entire space. A 7th grade cultivator, he was literally one step away from the 8th grade, but in the process, he was trapped by his own rage. Didn't expect that there would be real combat cultivators here, Tang thinks. The Wang family's sword would rather break than bend under someone's power, so the suppression had little effect on it. And Xiaoying's strength is equal to 100%, or even 1,000% of her grandfather's strength. Not bad. It's rare that our university has managed to obtain 3 cultivation geniuses at once. Teacher Yue Shan praises them. These 3 are really good. If they join my class, I can directly teach such gifted students. One of the teachers says, and the other one immediately starts arguing, intending to take the talented students for himself. You both have the same level of strength and almost no experience in combat. How are you going to teach the top 3? It would be best if they were trained by me, Yue Shan says. Don't get ahead of yourself. You can't teach all 3 of them alone. An argument immediately breaks out between the teachers. I don't know if anyone would want to study with me. I haven't accepted students for 2 years now, and it won't be the same this year. It's obviously not a good time for research, so if the funds are insufficient, I'll have to find other ways to earn money. A teacher named Hua Feng Yang thinks. As long as there is at least one student, funding for the research will not be cut. Tan looks at the teacher carefully. What is it? Are your legs giving way? Yue Shan asks the disciples who have been bent over by the force of the sound wave. You're so weak. Should I bring you some chairs so you can hear me out? You, a group of scum, can't even handle a small amount of suppression. How are you going to go out on the battlefield and kill enemies? I didn't come here to go out on the battlefield, one of the students says, confused. To be a cultivator without dedication in battle is the same as being a nobody. The teacher shouts in rage. If you don't fight, I'll make you. From now on, the students outside must fight each other. Each victory will bring 1 point. The number of people and weapons is not limited. Fight as hard as you can until it comes to death. One of the teachers is a little unhappy with this approach, but Yue Shan assures him that he will take care of everything. As for these 3, if someone beats at least one of them, they will get 100 points. You all know about the importance of points, with which you can get medicine, weapons, combat techniques. One of the students immediately starts to take out his sword. What are you doing? Are you crazy? If you go against children from large families, even if you get hundreds of points, you won't be able to live a normal life. Another student stops him. What should I do? I can't just pass up this opportunity, it's 100 points. To which he replies that no matter how strong Tang Ming is, he won't be able to handle the crowd. And if they all attack at once, then whoever is left at the end will be the winner. Tan's neighbors, hearing these conversations, immediately offer their help in this battle. However, Tan politely declines, as all these students do not pose much of a threat to him. Xiaoying, I'll show you how to use the spiral technique and thunder technique. Watch carefully, Tang says. The guy's entire body is enveloped in streams of power. Let's go, he says with a grin. Immediately, a crowd of students pounced on the young man. If you are not strong enough, then do not stand in my way, Tan shouts at them. Forgive me, but for the sake of points, we will defeat you. The students running towards him answer him. Tan grabs the first attacker firmly by the collar of his t-shirt and pulls him towards himself. With just one blow, he knocks him to the ground. Meanwhile, behind the young man, there is already another student who wants to try his luck and win. He was already sure that he had 100 points in his pocket, but obviously, he was wrong. How did he block my blow? This guy is crazy. The student is amazed. Tan's fist connects directly with the blade of his sword, and a web of tiny cracks immediately appears on the weapon. One more effort from the guy, and the weapon shatters into hundreds of pieces, and his opponent is defeated. It seems like there's no need to worry about him. Jing smiles as she watches the battle, with her younger sister cheering. Meanwhile, Tang Ming was already rushing towards his next opponents. His courage is commendable. There are few such selfless students nowadays. It's a pity that no matter how strong a person is, he will still have to surrender when faced with a whole crowd of opponents. The teacher watches the battle. Hold on, we'll definitely win. He's too strong. The fight with me lasted only a couple of seconds. No one can withstand even one of his blows. Frightened cries are heard from those who dared to try their strength in a fight with Tan. Not bad. This guy really exceeds my expectations, but how long can he withstand the attack? I think he will still lose. Yueshan continues to ponder. At this time, the young man already wins over his 61st opponent. Gotcha. The student who came up with the idea of attacking with the whole crowd shouts at him, intending to attack from behind. Impossible. He doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. He thinks a second later, receiving a powerful blow straight to the stomach. 60-second Tan continues counting calmly. This is simply a monster with an endless supply of strength. He can still withstand the siege of hundreds of students. He simply has no worthy opponents. In the past, freshmen did not have such strong combat power when entering. He is simply a genius. Admires the new student Yueshan. And Tang Ming is already dealing with the remaining opponents. That's probably enough. 100 points would be enough to acquire various resources. They're all my classmates, so there's no reason to make things even more tense between us, Tan thinks. However, his classmates have other plans, and deciding that he is running out of strength, they decide to take advantage of what they consider to be a great opportunity to earn 100 points. Noticing this, the guy concentrates his strength in his fist and sharply strikes it straight into the ground. If you are not afraid of death, then attack. I will not hold back any longer, he says to his classmates. Right in front of the guy, there is a huge crater left by the destructive force of his blow. Previously self-confident classmates immediately decide to end their attempts. The battle is over. Those who are still fighting, stop. The points will be credited to your freshman cards, and they can be exchanged for learning resources at the exchange office, Yueshan says loudly. You're good, Tang Ming. Which teacher are you going to choose? By the way, among all the teachers, I have the highest strength that can be considered hereditary. Their punch can't beat mine. The other teachers, gathered in a group, watch with disapproval as he tries to take the most gifted student for himself. She wants me to make a choice? Tang looks at Jing. I choose Hua Fengyang as my mentor, the boy replies. What? All the teachers scream in shock at once. Me? The teacher can't believe it. Yes, my mentor, Hua Fengyang, Tang repeats loudly once more. Did you misspeak by any chance? You are new here, so you don't know everything. This Hua Fengyang used to only cultivate her own cultivation skills, and in the past 2 years, due to her own impotence, she has not taught a single student, Yueshan says indignantly. I studied the information about all the university teachers on the official website, and I choose her, the guy calmly answers. Immediately, Wang Jing and Xiaoying join in their brother's choice. I disagree. And the university is the most important time for cultivators. As the foundation for strength is laid, if you choose me, then I will provide you with any help in achieving the desired level even before graduation. Yueshan does not give up. Don't get ahead of yourself. Students have the right to choose their own mentor, and you can't interfere. One of the teachers takes Tan's side. If the students are unable to make the right choice, I must guide them. Yueshan is reluctant to agree. Master doesn't want us to go to Hua Fengyang's class because he's afraid that we'll waste our strength. In that case, I guarantee that we'll reach the 2nd grade cultivation level before the end of the semester. Tang Ming interrupts the teacher's conversation. Impossible, the teacher shouts at him. Nothing is impossible. If this does not happen, then we will study under the patronage of Yueshan, Tang suggests. Okay, have it your way. The man reluctantly agrees. If they miss just one semester with me, I'll make up for it the next one. Meanwhile, Hua Fengyang couldn't believe that the top 3 martial arts students chose her as their mentor this year. Do you agree to accept these students? They ask her. Of course, I agree. The teacher immediately nods with all her might. Now its research budget will not be cut this year. I can do it. Hua Fengyang clenched his fists resolutely. Now the rest of the students must also choose a mentor for themselves. Meanwhile, Huafeng Yang leads his new students to Hanbei's research office. Although I don't know why you chose me, we will all try our best. If you have any questions about cultivation, just ask me. And if I'm incompetent, I'll try to find out from other teachers. The teacher says to the cultivators. Teacher Hua, could you tell us the contents of your cultivation theory research? It will help us choose a direction in martial arts, Tang asks her. Okay, Hua immediately agrees. Cultivation in our country basically follows the path of the ancient cultivators, with only a slight improvement to make it more suitable for battle. And this path is divided into 9 classes. Cultivators from the 1st to the 4th class harden their bones, muscles, and skin, meaning that this class is physically strong and invulnerable. Cultivators from the 5th to the 7th grade temper their bone marrow, organs, and blood. And there are less than 1 million such cultivators, so Master Yueshan is truly strong. As for the 8th grade or even the 9th, there are less than 10,000 registered people. In general, martial arts are divided into 4 levels, the strongest of which is the heavenly, but the yellow, which is the lowest, is also very valuable. The secrets of advanced techniques are forbidden to be shared privately, so if you want to learn, you must either go to university or serve an influential family. However, there are rare exercises that are passed down only to family members. For example, the Wang family sword technique combines techniques from various martial arts, and the main exercise of the Fang family, Tianmen's secret, is a combination of human strength and internal energy. In addition, there are many secret techniques and their effectiveness varies. The only peculiarity is that they are difficult to spread and practice on a large scale. These are just the most basic theories of cultivation, Teacher Hua. You shouldn't study such basics, said Teacher Tang. Huafeng Yang pauses for a moment, thinking, the purpose of my research is to overcome the barrier of cultivation after the 9th grade, to achieve something new and stronger. I believe that a 9th grade cultivator is far from the peak of cultivation, the girl says decisively. Xiaoying and Jing look at their new teacher in shock, and only Tang doesn't look surprised at all. That's why you came here and chose her as your mentor? Jing thinks. Of course, this theory is just my personal assumption without any factual evidence, so it is too raw to present to others, says the teacher. In fact, everyone laughs at me for doing useless work instead of spending time on strengthening muscles and practicing. Master, don't worry about it. Modern and ancient cultivators are different, and so are their upper limits, Tang reassured her. Since the appearance of wormholes, it is only a matter of time before aliens invade the Earth. During the most active period of wormholes, astronomers made scientific breakthroughs one after another. Perhaps all this is interconnected. You say that the planet's energy limits humanity's fighting power, so the strongest people in ancient times were hermits who devoted themselves to cultivation? But now that our worlds are closely connected, this limitation may become weaker, the teacher says in amazement. True, besides, almost all modern cultivators have steel bodies, but there are very few mental attacks, says Tang. Everything depends on the spiritual state of a person. If it meets the requirements, then the training will proceed smoothly and naturally. Perhaps there is a way of spiritual cultivation that does not correspond to the classical one. Teacher Hua cries out in admiration. But why wasn't this type of exercise passed down from generation to generation? Perhaps because they are passed down by word of mouth rather than on paper, Tan explains. And your words make sense, the mentor smiles at him.